Why INFJs hate posting on social media. Imagine this: you open your phone, scroll through a never-ending stream of curated lives, filtered sunsets, carefully crafted captions, and perfectly timed smiles. And as your thumb pauses over the button that says Create Post, something inside your INFJ soul suddenly tenses. Your chest tightens ever so slightly. Your mind fills with a quiet swirl of questions. Your energy shifts in a way most people would never notice. And you ask yourself, why does this feel so wrong? Why do I feel so exposed? Why is sharing anything at all so exhausting? If you're an INFJ, this scene is probably more than familiar. It's practically the emotional soundtrack of your relationship with social media. Because while the world seems to thrive on constant posting, constant performing, constant polishing of identity, you, the contemplative, intuitive, hyper-aware observer, stand on the sidelines with a complicated blend of curiosity, discomfort, and quiet resistance. Today, we're diving deep into the 8 powerful reasons why INFJs hate posting on social media. So if you've ever felt misunderstood for being inactive, private, distant, or impossible to read online, stay with me, because this video is going to feel like someone finally put your silent experience into words. Let's begin. 1. INFJs hate posting because they feel emotionally overexposed in a world that can't hold their depth. The first reason INFJs struggle with posting on social media is rooted in something deep, almost sacred: their profound longing for emotional authenticity, and their equally profound fear that the world won't handle that authenticity with the care it deserves. To the INFJ, every thought, every reflection, every opinion, every vulnerability carries weight. Posting isn't just sharing, it's revealing a piece of their inner world. And INFJs don't reveal lightly. They reveal with intention, with sensitivity, with an unspoken hope that the listener will understand the emotional nuance beneath the words. But social media doesn't work like that. It's loud, fast, chaotic, shallow, performative, and relentlessly surface level. And INFJs, who feel everything deeply and interpret meaning in even the smallest emotional signals, simply don't trust a space that treats personal expression like disposable content. So when an INFJ considers making a post, their mind spins. Will this be misinterpreted? Will people judge it? Will they read it the wrong way? Will this be taken out of context? Will I regret sharing this piece of myself later? The anxiety isn't about attention. It's about vulnerability. The fear that their depth will be misunderstood, mishandled, or discarded. INFJs protect their inner world like a fragile flame in a windstorm. Posting feels like opening that flame to the storm. And so they retreat, not because they have nothing to say, but because they have so much to say that the wrong audience feels dangerous. 2. INFJs hate posting because they feel the energy drain of authentic self-expression in a performative environment. If there is one thing INFJs cannot fake, even when they wish they could, it's authenticity. But social media operates on an entirely different emotional currency: performance. On social platforms, people are encouraged to become characters: the funny one, the aesthetic one, the bold one, the inspirational one, the glamorous one, the intellectual one, the adventurous one. Everything becomes branding, and INFJs don't do branding. For the INFJ, expressing themselves is not a quick action. It is a deep internal process. Writing a caption becomes introspection. Choosing a photo becomes emotional evaluation. Sharing anything becomes an inner dialogue of meaning, purpose, and impact. And INFJs feel that tension intensely. To post something shallow feels wrong. To post something meaningful feels too vulnerable. To post something casual feels inauthentic. To post something too polished feels like self-betrayal. It becomes an exhausting emotional paradox. INFJs have a limited social battery to begin with. But what few people understand is this: creating a post drains INFJs in the same way that hosting a party would drain an extrovert. It demands emotional energy. It demands introspective clarity. It demands vulnerability management. And when the INFJ weighs all that effort against the likely reaction, the likes, the quick comments, the fleeting attention, It feels wildly unbalanced. Why pour their heart into a space that consumes but rarely understands? So they step back, because the emotional cost isn't worth the emotional return. 3. INFJs hate posting because they overthink every word, every photo, every implication. Ah yes, the classic INFJ overthinking spiral. This is not just second guessing. It's a full cognitive analysis involving intuition, pattern recognition, emotional forecasting, and social prediction, all happening silently in the INFJ's mind with breathtaking speed. Here's what posting is like for an INFJ. Does this sound like me? Is it too much? Is it too little? Does this feel authentic? Will it hurt anyone? Will someone misunderstand? Does it reveal too much? Does it reveal too little? Do people even care? Does this reflect my actual values? Does it make me look like I'm trying too hard? Does it make me look like I don't care at all? Should I explain more? No, that's too long. Should I simplify? No, that's too shallow. What am I even doing? Never mind, forget it. And then delete post. It's not insecurity, it's consciousness. INFJs can see into the emotional future of everything they put out into the world. They sense the ripple effects of their words before they even write them. And that awareness becomes both a gift and a curse. Because the more they think, the less they post. Not because they don't want to connect, but because they want every connection to be meaningful. And social media rarely offers meaning without noise. 4. INFJs hate posting because they prefer deep, private connection over public attention. INFJs care more deeply than almost any personality type, but their caring is selective, intentional, and intimate. They flourish in conversations where souls meet, not where performances compete. To the INFJ, connection is sacred. They love the quiet moments, one-on-one conversations, emotional exchanges, late-night depth talks, shared vulnerability, subtle compassion. These moments build trust, bond hearts, and offer the authenticity they crave. But social media amplifies attention, not connection. It rewards visibility, not vulnerability. It values performance, not presence. INFJs don't want strangers analyzing their life. They don't want acquaintances interpreting their emotions. They don't want hundreds of people witnessing moments that feel private or meaningful. They want to be known deeply, not widely. So while others post to feel seen, INFJs avoid posting because being seen by people who don't actually know them feels hollow, like shouting into a crowd that doesn't care enough to listen. INFJs prefer the whispered conversations in the corner over the spotlight on the stage. They prefer the few who understand them over the many who misunderstand them. Posting invites the many. INFJs live for the few. 5. INFJs hate posting because they feel responsible for how their words impact others. INFJs possess a rare emotional trait, empathic responsibility. They don't just feel for others. They feel accountable for the emotional waves they create. This means every post is filtered through questions like, will this make someone feel left out? Will someone think I'm bragging? Will this inconvenience or upset someone? Will this unintentionally hurt someone's feelings? Will this create conflict or misunderstandings? Will someone interpret this in a way that causes them pain? INFJs carry emotional consequences like they carry oxygen. It's instinctive, automatic, invisible to others but real to them. So when they consider posting a photo of a trip, they worry someone struggling financially might feel worse. When they consider posting something meaningful, they worry it will be interpreted as moralizing. When they consider sharing life updates, they worry about drawing attention they didn't intend to draw. And because INFJs are wired to minimize harm, the simplest solution becomes silence. Not because they lack things to share, but because they think too far ahead about how others will feel when they see it. Where others think it's just a post, an INFJ thinks it's an emotional impact waiting to happen, and I have to be responsible with it. It's empathy, but intensified to the point of paralysis. And so their creativity, their observations, their stories, their life moments often remain unshared, protected, contained, safe from unintended harm. 6. INFJs hate posting because they are hyper-aware of emotional inauthenticity online. INFJs have a sixth sense for authenticity. They can detect emotional dishonesty, attention-seeking, and posturing with pinpoint accuracy, often before the person posting has even realized their own motives. And the truth is, social media is full of emotional dishonesty. People post highlight reels, pretending they represent their whole life. They post filtered happiness hiding real sadness. They post inspirational quotes while living in contradiction. They post confident photos while sinking in insecurity. They post opinions they don't actually believe just to fit a trend. They post to seek validation while claiming they don't care. INFJs see it all. They feel the emotional contradictions behind the posts. They sense the unspoken motives. They read between the lines, and it makes them deeply uncomfortable. Because INFJs value truth, not performative truth but soulful truth. Not curated emotion, but real emotion. Not attention-driven expression, but meaningful expression. So when INFJs see the emotional inauthenticity of social media, they recoil. They want no part of it. They don't want to contribute to the noise, the posturing, or the illusion. They want to live in alignment, not performance. Posting becomes an ethical dilemma. How do I participate in a system that rewards the opposite of what I believe in? For many INFJs, the answer is simple. They don't. 7. INFJs hate posting because they don't want people constructing fictional versions of them. More than any type, INFJs long to be accurately understood, but they also know painfully how rare that is. So the idea of putting pieces of themselves online, only to have strangers form opinions or assumptions about who they are, feels like a violation of identity. INFJs know that most people don't read deeply. Most don't understand nuance. Most don't pay attention to emotional fine print. So they fear being misunderstood, being misrepresented, being reduced to a stereotype, being interpreted through someone else's biases, being judged on incomplete information. INFJs are complex, multifaceted, contradictory in beautiful human ways. Posting reduces that complexity into a flat snapshot. It feels like oversimplification. It feels like misrepresentation. It feels like losing control over how the world interprets them. So they guard their identity closely, not out of secrecy but out of protection. INFJs want to share their soul only with people who will actually see it, not people who will skim it, not people who will twist it, not people who will attach their own narrative to it. Posting opens the door to being misunderstood, and misunderstanding is one of the deepest emotional wounds an INFJ can experience. 8. INFJs hate posting because their lives are internal, not external. While many people live outward, sharing experiences, showcasing moments, broadcasting highlights, INFJs live inward. Their richest experiences are not visible. Their most meaningful memories are emotional. Their deepest journeys happen inside. Internal growth, philosophical exploration, emotional processing, intuitive insight, spiritual searching, identity evolution, personal meaning-making, and social media has little room for invisible experiences. How do you post? Today I realized something profound about my childhood. Today I felt someone's pain so deeply it changed me. Today I grew into a version of myself nobody will see. Today I had an epiphany about the world. Today my intuition revealed something that reshaped everything. You don't, because it can't be captured in a picture. It doesn't translate to likes. It doesn't have the right aesthetic. It's too personal, too abstract, too sacred. So the INFJ stays silent, not because they're inactive, but because their inner world doesn't fit the outer world's format. Their life is a novel. Social media wants bullet points. Their heart is a symphony. Social media wants sound bites. Their mind is an ocean. Social media wants puddles. And so, instead of performing a version of themselves that isn't fully real, INFJs choose what they always choose: depth over display. If you've resonated with every word so far, that's because you're not just watching a video. You're hearing your internal truth spoken aloud. INFJs aren't antisocial. They aren't hiding. They aren't mysterious on purpose. They aren't avoiding attention out of fear. They simply live life on a plane that social media wasn't built to contain. Their silence is not emptiness. It's integrity. It's peace. It's alignment. It's protection. It's authenticity. It's depth. And sometimes, it's the only way they know how to honor their soul in a noisy world.